You are Locked On Yankees Postcast, part of Locked On Sports New York on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
An amazing 3 games in Cleveland come to an end in style. And now the American League Championship Series is in the books. That's right. Yankees beat the Guardians 5-2 in 10 innings. They captured the American League Championship Series in 5 games, 4-1. Unforgettable home runs for both Stanton and Soto. And now a shot at a 28th title begins next week. Again, 5-2 the final score. Yanks beat the Guardians. Hello, everyone. I'm Jay Berman. If you're a New Yorker, you might recognize my work. If not, welcome aboard. I've spent more than 2 decades in the biz, everything from TV to web to radio. You can follow me on X at Jay Berman, Jayberman. Welcome to the Locked On Yankees postcast, both on the Locked On Sports New York YouTube channel and the Locked On Yankees podcast feed. The postcast gives you a place to hang out after every single Yankees game. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. All right, we'll chat everything. Carlos Rodon, who, of course, made the start for the Bombers tonight. Didn't last very long, but 4 2/3 effective innings, if you will. The pen bounced back nicely, comes up big in the end, and as we said, monumental home runs from both Stanton early and Soto late. Soto, the big one, he's the hero tonight. And of course, we'll set you up for the Fall Classic, which starts on Friday in either LA or the Bronx. All that coming up on the postcast. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. Download the app today. Use code LOCKEDONMLB to win $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game. As we said, 5-2 the final score. And for the 41st time, the Yankees are American League champions. They capture another pennant, and they do so in style. 2 swings was all they needed. A 2-run shot from Giancarlo Stanton. That came in the 6th inning to tie the game at 2. It would remain that way into the 10th when Juan Soto goes yard, a 3-run shot. Amazing. Stanton's 5th home run this postseason. For Soto, his 3rd home run this postseason. And again, it is a 5-2 final score. As we said, Carlos Rodon got the start for the Yankees, went 4 2/3, 5 hits, 2 earned, just 1 walk, did strike out 6, needed 85 pitches to get through those 4 2/3, just 58 for strikes. They called on Mark Leiter Jr. He would get the final out of the 5th, and then 1 more out in the 6th. He did walk a couple of batters through just 13 pitches. Tim Hill came in, some controversy there. Looked like he was robbed of a couple of strikes, not just 1, but 2. Alan Porter, for what it's worth, was the home plate umpire tonight. Jake Cousins was brilliant, faced 5 batters, struck out 4 of them, registered 1 1/3 innings worked. That's 4 outs. And again, he struck out all 4 of those for the outs, faced 5 batters. And then Luke Weaver, 27 pitches, 22 for strikes, retires the Guardians without a run being allowed in both the 9th and 10th innings. And again, Luke Weaver comes out on top with the win. We talked about the bullpen, or at least coming into the series, the strength of the Gardos, and that was their bullpen. Well, the Yanks took care of that quite easily, thank you very much. 6 home runs in the series off the Cleveland bullpen. They got Tanner Bybee on the mound tonight. He went 5 2/3. He allowed the home run to Giancarlo Stanton, and lots of talk about why on earth, with a base open, did Stephen Vogt let Tanner Bybee pitch to Giancarlo Stanton, especially with Jazz Chisholm, who struggled so mightily on deck. Chisholm tonight went 1 for 3, but he's hitting a cool 147. Meanwhile, you know what Stanton can do, and then eventually did. So perhaps a mistake there by the Cleveland manager, Stephen Vogt, not going to Cade Smith after that. He went to Smith, and then Heron, and then Clase before Hunter Gaddis. And Gaddis was the one that allowed the home run. Again, he takes the loss through 28 pitches in that one inning of work, but obviously the home run was the damage. Juan Soto, he's had multiple Yankee moments, if you will, but they just keep tacking on top of each other. And yet another memorable 2024 Yankee home run. It's amazing. We forget about the Stanton home run tonight because of the Soto home run. But again, the Yanks needed just 2 swings in the top of the 6th and the top of the 10th. Soto finished with 3 hits, obviously 3 RBIs on the 3-run shot. Stanton had just 1 hit. In fact, Stanton had 4 hits in the American League Championship Series. And get this, folks, all 4 were home runs. Games 1, 3, 4, and 5. The last batter that Tanner Bybee faced was Stanton after the home run. 117 off the bat, 446 feet. So it was hit hard. It was hit far. It tied the game. And yet still the home run we're discussing is the Juan Soto home run. Just goes to show how clutch that Soto home run was and how much Hunter Gaddis really had no place else to go but groove one. And that's exactly what happened. And Soto deposited it over the wall. As for Stanton, the 16th career home run of the postseason for him in just 36 postseason games. An amazing number. Just about 1 every 2 games. 8 hits in the postseason in Cleveland in his career. And get this, folks, not making this up. All 8 of the hits in his postseason career in Cleveland have left the yard. Not a single, not a broken back, wounded duck, none of that. All home runs. As we said, Jake Cousins, 5 batters faced, 4 strikeouts, and the Yankee bullpen was excellent tonight. Leiter Jr., Hill, Cousins, and of course, Luke Weaver. Now, everyone's going to get a whole bunch of time off now because the World Series doesn't start till Friday, which is why I was a little bit interested, for lack of a better term, as to why Clay Holmes didn't pitch. Now, we know Clay Holmes has pitched every game this postseason, which is miraculous. And yes, he struggled in game number 4. However, we essentially get a week now. And so the Yankees can get healthy, be it Rizzo or whoever is banged up at this point in time. They can get healthy, and obviously they can set up the rotation as well. It's amazing how this game started with a bang. Glaber, another leadoff hit, and he has just been tremendous. 2 more hits tonight for Glaber, now hitting .297 in the postseason. He's thrown out at home on the Soto double, which I wrote down as soon as it happened, the 5th pitch in. Now, if you recall, in game 4, the 4th pitch in, Soto hit over the wall. The 5th pitch in game 5 also goes to the wall, but it's a double. And then another mistake on the base pass from the Yankees, which is just an amazing occurrence once again. So anyways, point is, the game started with a bang. Glaber's out at home after trying to score from first on the double. No outs at that point in time. Again, just 5 pitches in. A lot of blame goes to Luis Rojas for sending him with no outs. Regardless, more base running mishaps for the Yankees. That needs to be cleaned up. Despite the fact that the Yankees just keep winning, there's always a gaffe on the base path, seemingly every single night. All right, as we said, excellent job by the bullpen. Carlos Rodon, as we said, through 85 pitches, managed just 4 2/3 innings of work, 5 hits, 2 earned, 1 walk, 6 Ks. His ERA in the postseason now 4.40. Of course, he pitched so well in game 1, going 6 innings, managed just 4 2/3 tonight. But again, the Yankees got to that vaunted Cleveland bullpen, specifically Gaddis. The 3-run shot, for all intents and purposes, ended it on the spot. That's how deflating from a Cleveland perspective that home run was. That's how amazing from a New York perspective that Soto home run was. And as we said, the most amazing part about this is we're not talking about Stanton's home run. We were for about 3 innings from the 6th to the 10th We were talking about the Stanton home run. Now we're talking about the Soto home run. And that's all that matters at this point in time. As we said, it took just 2 swings, a 2-run blast from Stanton in the 6th and a 3-run shot in the 10th from Juan Soto. The Yanks have won their 41st American League pennant. All right, we'll take a break. On the other side, we'll set up the World Series and time off for the Yanks. Hey guys, your sex life is important, but I get it. Your schedule is busy. You don't have the time to go to the doctor to get treated for ED. Well, listen up. Through HIMS, you can get a personalized ED treatment without leaving home. HIMS is changing men's healthcare by providing you with access to affordable sexual health treatments from the comfort of your couch. HIMS provides access to a range of doctor-trusted ED treatments like chewable hard mints, Viagra and Cialis, and their generics for up to 95% cheaper. All you have to do is answer a series of questions, and a medical provider will determine the right treatment option for you. Your medication ships directly to you in discreet packaging for free. No insurance necessary. There's just one low price to cover everything from treatments to ongoing care. With hundreds of thousands of trusted subscribers, HIMS can help you find the ED option that works for you. Start your free online visit today at hims.com/lockedon. That's hims.com/lockedon for your personalized ED treatment options. hims.com/lockedon. The products mentioned are chewable compounded products which are not approved by or verified for safety or effectiveness by the FDA. Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See the website for details and important safety information. A subscription is required. Prices vary based on the product and subscription plan. All right, we're just about halfway home on this Locked On Yankees postcast after a 5-2 10-inning victory over the Cleveland Guardians in Game 5 of the American League Championship Series. And guess what, folks? We're off to the World Series. Now, it doesn't begin until Friday. We still have to find an opponent, and we still have to find who gets home field. Of course, if the Dodgers close out the Mets in Game 6 or 7, regardless, the Dodgers would have home field, and the World Series would begin Friday in LA. However, we still have to play Game 6, where the Mets trail the Dodgers 3-2. If the Mets win Game 6, and then there's a Game 7, and the Mets win that, so they win Game 6 and 7, then the Yankees would get home field advantage in the World Series. So we don't know exactly where we'll be on Friday. But again, we still have to wait for the National League to determine their participant in the Fall Classic. All right, as for Stanton, we need to repeat his numbers. He has 4 hits, or had 4 hits in the American League Championship Series. Now it's over. All 4 of them left the yard. Games 1, 3, 4, and 5. He hit a 446-foot blast tonight. His 16th career postseason home run in just 36 career postseason games, 8 hits in the postseason in Cleveland in his career, all of them home runs, which is just an amazing stat. Hard to believe, but it's true. A negative, perhaps, a little nitpicky on Celebration Day. Bad challenge by Aaron Boone in the 5th inning on the Austin Wells double play. Now, I understand you get 2 challenges in the postseason. And I understand you're halfway through the game at that point, so why not? I don't want to set a bad precedent of bad challenges. That was my concern at that point in time. It was never going to get overturned. Nitpicking, certainly, but I thought it was a bad challenge. All right, as we said, 5-2 final score. The Yankees get Luke Weaver's victory, his first in the postseason. 2 innings, a hit, no earned runs, a K, did not walk a batter. And obviously the deflated Cleveland lineup in the 9th inning was no match for Weaver. Again, 5-2 the final score. It required 2 swings tonight for the Yankees. 1 in the 6th inning, courtesy of Giancarlo Stanton, as we said, now has 5 home runs this postseason. Of course, hit 1 in the division series, hit 4 in the championship series. Only one Guardian had more than one hit tonight. That's Bo Naylor. He had 2 hits on the night, but really nothing clutch at any point in time from the Gardos tonight. Again, they plated a run in the second, plated a run in the fifth, both off of Rodon. And they both came in a situation that pumped up the Cleveland lead. It was 1-0, then it was 2-0 into the sixth. And again, we weren't sure which direction Stephen Vogt would go with Tanner Bybee. He chose incorrectly. Bybee allows the home run to Stanton. Now, the game wasn't over at that point. In fact, the game was only tied. However, you could feel a little bit of the air let out of the balloon at Progressive Field at that point in time. Now, Cade Smith, Tim Aaron, Emmanuel Clase, and Hunter Gaddis, the strength of the Cleveland team was their bullpen, and the Yankees messed them up. They messed them up good. 6 home runs off the Cleveland pen in the American League Championship Series. That is worthy of repeating because that's just an astounding number. Again, we wanted to see a bounce back from a Cleveland perspective in regard to Emmanuel Clase. He bounced back. The problem was his predecessor, Hunter Gaddis, did not. Gives up the 3-run shot to Juan Soto. Soto has his Yankee moment, and now we need to move on to the World Series, which, as we said, begins on Friday. And we don't know who the Yankees will play because we still have a Game 6 and possibly a Game 7 in the National League. Game 6 will be Sunday night. Sean Manaea goes for the Mets. It's a bullpen game for the Dodgers. Of course, the Dodgers have a 3-2 series lead. That game starts at 8. Now, if the Mets win Game 6, there'll be a Game 7, which would, of course, be Monday night. Luis Severino and Walker Buehler would be the starters as of now, and it bears repeating. If the Mets win Game 6 and 7, it'll be a Subway Series beginning in the Bronx on Friday. If the Dodgers take one of the next 2 against the Mets, the World Series, the Fall Classic, if you will begin Friday in LA with the Yankees as the visitors. Again, 5-2, the final score. It happened in 10 innings, and the Yankees are now on their way to the World Series for the first time in 15 years. 2009 was the last time they were there. They won it. They have not been back since. So a decade and a half of World Series futility in regards to the Yankees has come to an end. As we said, we'll set up the World Series moving forward, and we'll break down the big home runs once again from Stanton and Soto. All right, Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. How about one Caleb Williams passing yard gets you 1 win on Prize Picks every week in the month? That's right, only 1 yard gets you an automatic win every football weekend. 4 weeks of free W's. Don't miss the deal on Prize Picks because it's gone when October ends. You can now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little, get this, as 4 correct picks. Prize Picks is the best way to get action on sports in most states. That includes California, Texas, and Georgia. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code LOCKEDONMLB. Get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code LOCKEDONMLB on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks. Run your game. All right, one remaining segment on the postcast as the Yankees eliminate the Cleveland Guardians. They took care of things in 4 in the division series, eliminating the Kansas City Royals. On to the championship series. They needed 5 games. They disposed of the Cleveland Guardians. The Yankees have lost 1 game in the division series and 1 game in the championship series. Who knows how many wins and losses in the Fall Classic, but we're headed there. And that's all that matters. Of course, the Yankees, as we said, have not won a World Series since 2009, have not played in the World Series since 2009. And now they get a chance to fight for a 28th World Series. An amazing number. Also amazing, how about 41 American League pennants? They are the American League champs in 2024. They pretty much had the best season in the American League, and so far no one has stood in their way. Now, it'll be either the Dodgers or Mets, in which is certainly a delicious World Series regardless. Of course, you figure Major League Baseball wants to see Ohtani and the Dodgers from the West, Judge and Soto and Stanton from the Yankees in the East. But of course, the Mets aren't done yet either. So we'll see what they have to say about things. Do we get a Subway Series or do we get East meets West? Very interesting stuff. All right, as we said, the Yankees got to the Guardians bullpen, the strength of their team. We told you 6 home runs off the Cleveland pen. How about the Yankee pen tonight, which bounced back nicely? Mark Leiter Jr., who, of course, is on the roster because of the injury to Ian Hamilton, who cannot play in the World Series now. So Leiter takes his spot on the roster. 2 days in, 2 appearances. Leiter threw 13 pitches tonight. Got 2 outs, did walk 2. Tim Hill, an inning and a third. Jake Cousins, an inning and a third. Luke Weaver, 2 innings, picking up the slack from the start of Carlos Rodon. And again, Stephen Vogt had a real tough decision. Lots of second guessing on social media tonight. But I will say this. Not an easy spot sticking with Bibee in that position. But if you recall, he's used every reliever just about every single day. He needed absolute length out of his starting pitching. He got 5 from Bibee and got 2/3 more from Bibee, and that was it. The home run to Stanton ended his night, and it was a bomb. How about 446 feet, 117 miles per hour off the bat. All right, thank you for making Locked On Yankees your first listen today. Now go check out the Locked On MLB podcast. Prepare for the Fall Classic with Sully, who has it all covered every single day. You can find a link to Locked On MLB in the description, so you don't need to search. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. Before we get out of here, also want to mention our partners in crime over at Locked On Yankees. It's Stacey Goutsoulias and Brian McKeon. They handle all the stuff again at Locked On Yankees. They're the best. Follow, subscribe, and enjoy. And speaking of enjoying, that's exactly what the Yankees are going to do tonight, probably tomorrow night, and then the night after that. Don't worry, plenty of time before the Fall Classic kicks off. It starts Friday in either the Bronx or L.A. Again, 5-2. Yanks win the pennant a 41st time, and of course, that is a record. The winning pitcher tonight was Luke Weaver. 2 tremendous innings, the 9th and 10th innings, obviously the most important innings. Yanks struck out 11 Guardians tonight, and they only struck out 9 times themselves combined. Again, 5-2 the final score. We have some time off now. The Locked On Yankees postcast will head to the World Series on Friday, so we'll be with you then. Until then, congrats to the Yankees. Congrats to you, the fans. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next week.